Hey everyone, Carrie Beck here with Family eBiz, and we help families and other people start their own online businesses so they can find freedom in their lives to do what they're called to do. Today is being recorded at the beginning of the year. It'll be published this first week of January. And one of the things I'd like to talk to you about is rest. And this all comes from what happened with me through the Christmas holidays. So we've just finished the Christmas holidays. And as we were finishing and I was starting the new year, I thought, this is what I really need to talk about. We've talked about calendars and all of that, and you've got lots of information on how to plan your year. But I want you to think about last year and then moving forward. Because you see, for me, during many Christmases, I would bring my laptop just in case I needed to do something when I was out of town for Christmas. But this year I did something different. I actually walked out that door and I thought, do I need my laptop? No, I'm just leaving it in the kitchen. I'm not going to worry about it. And so I left it. I was like, I got to Ashley's and I was spending Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with them. And I thought there was one thing I really did need to do, and I couldn't do it on my phone, and that was to pay a bonus. But I ended up just doing that when I got home Christmas night. So I spent several days unplugged from my business. Like many days. The only thing I really did was that Christmas night get online and send that Christmas bonus as well. I focused on things like my family and enjoying them and my grandkids, cooking and baking because I love that so much, preparing our home for all the family to come that Saturday after Christmas. And just enjoy the laughter of children, the laughter of adults, the laughter of family. It was wonderful. And I want to talk about why we need that because when you really think about it, now we're talking, I think Christmas Eve was on Wednesday. I really didn't do any work because I left in the morning to go have coffee with a friend in Austin. Then I went over to Ashley's and I was with their family the next day for 2 days. And then I came home, I cleaned, then people were here all day Saturday. Gentry's family was here all day Sunday and left on Monday. And then I cleaned up. So there were about 6 days there that I didn't do any work, like a zero. It was awesome. And I realized nothing broke in my business. My business didn't fall apart. I actually came back, I think, calmer, clearer, focused, more focused, and just clearer thinking. And I even made sales along the way. Now, I did start working a little bit on Tuesday and Wednesday before New Year's Eve, but even then, it was just like an hour or two here and there. I really didn't get started working until the Friday after New Year's Day. It was awesome. And my question to you is, when was the last time you took a real break? Like nothing for business. I can get addicted. I enjoy my business, but I also know I need to step back. And so I would like to talk a little bit about why we need to take a break. I would say on a weekly basis. I'm going to challenge you with that, and I'll talk about that, why we need to rest and how that break and that rest can actually improve your business. So I believe that our calendars are set on a weekly basis, a 7 day cycle. That is the rhythm of life for humanity for centuries, even millennia. And for us, when we lived in Idaho from 2004 to 2008, we did take a Sabbath rest. Now, y'all know I'm a person of faith, and I do believe God wants us to rest. He did creation work for 6 days, and then he rested on the seventh. And I think that's an example for us. Whether you are a religious person or not, there are scientific studies that show our body, our health, our relationships, they need rest from work. Even our work will benefit if we take a rest. And I believe it's important to do a 1 day rest each week. I'm going to talk about that at the end with some practical tips. And you may not be able to start with a whole 24 hours, but let's wait and talk a little bit about that. It can really give you a biological health, physical reset, and a psychological reset. So There are studies that say over an 8-week period, people that took a weekly rest day, 1 day a week, they rested. Here's the benefits: lower stress, better emotional well-being, stronger social connections, and it just an improved sense of control overall. That alone might be enough reason to take a break every single week. Your brain needs a break too. Because what happens when we don't rest? Let's talk about a few things. Decision fatigue. We can't make decisions. There's just our brain is so clogged, we can't make a decision. Lower creativity because we're so exhausted, emotional exhaustion, chronic work without rest reduces our brain function, our cognitive performance. And I even read that basic conversations are mentally taxing to a person that does not take a brain rest, a work rest as well. You see, what researchers have found is that productivity drops after long work hours. That may even just be a long work hour of 12 hours in a day. Now, I know nurses do that, but they work 3 days and then they have 4 days off. Can't count, can't add. So they do take a rest. It may not be on that actual day. So working long hours can reduce the productivity. It undermines your focus when you're working in front of your computer. It also undermines your performance and what you output to your followers, to the people that you're trying to serve. If you take a rest, your work actually improves. Let's talk about Henry Ford for a second. That started Ford Motor Company. He shortened the workout week. Now it was longer. He shortened it to 40 hours. That's all. And what they discovered, and I don't have the record of how much it used to be, but I'm guessing it could be a 60 or 70-hour work week. He discovered productivity increased, not decreased. That was way back in the beginning of the 20th century. Workers were more focused and more efficient in building those cars. You see, rest will do that for you. You need a break. Another thing that rest does for you is it improves your problem solving and creativity. You can look at the psychology of creativity, and they say incubation of good ideas, incubation of ideas that will serve your customer. It improves when you step away from what you are doing. When you have intense thinking, you're trying to finish this project for work, you're trying to finish this product or this course to get it out to the people that you are serving, your brain just unconsciously cannot process the problems that you are coming up to. If you want to lead to breakthroughs, take a break. I was even talking about this with homeschool moms. Like, if your kids are frustrated, their brain is overloaded, just take a break for the rest of the day and get started the next day. Same with work. Because when you set a problem in work aside, like take a walk, take a nap, when you come back to it, insights are going to just appear like this after that break. So stepping away will actually improve your problem solving, the innovation in how you can help your customers, and the creativity when you come back. Winston Churchill, World War II genius. He was known for being strategic, but strategic in his rests, his naps. He did painting and went for walks. He believed that rest was essential to make good decisions during World War II. Can you believe it? This is a man. We actually got to tour the bunkers underground where he worked and where his bedroom was and everything. And to just think this is a man that created strategies so that England was not beaten by the Germans. And one of the things is he rested. He seriously took naps. If he can take a nap, so can we. If your brain is fried, your marketing decisions will be too. You need to take a step back. Now, let's talk about 1 day a week, and then we'll talk about how you might get to it. You may not be able to start there now, but when you take a break 1 day a week, You will improve your creativity. You'll improve your clarity. You will have better relationships with the people you're trying to serve, with your team members, better relationships with your spouse, your kids, your friend, and you'll reduce the burnout. Some of y'all say your biggest problem at times is burnout and you become resentful to your business. Maybe it's because you're working long hours and you need to take a break. If you take a break 1 day a week, maybe 2 days a week, you will have more energy for the other 5 or 6 days. There are studies that have shown this over and over that regular rest days not increase, reduce your burnout and increase engagement. And I would think that's engagement with your clients, with your customers, with your subscribers. So how can we take a break? What are your hobbies? Maybe you could do 1 day a week. Maybe have family meals together, laugh together. For some of you, it may be a time of faith and reflection and quiet time. My son is really big into taking a Sabbath rest, and he just believes that he really needs a step back. Yes, a lot of it is spiritual, but a lot of it is physical. He just needs a break from everything so he can come back and be more productive. Someone else that I think of is Jenna Kutcher. She has the Gold Digger podcast, and I heard her talk sometime this past year about rest and about finding margin in your life. She is very open and shares about taking a step back, setting boundaries and honoring rest. That is what has helped her business grow substantially. Hobbies. She talked about how she started to take up hobbies, such as sourdough bread making. For me, I love making bread. I love reading for pleasure. I like quilting. I made Brittany, my daughter-in-law, a quilt a few months ago. I love to go travel. And so those are just things that I can do during my rest time. It uses a different part of my brain and it gives the part of that I use with business a break so it can rest, refresh, and be ready to work again. Walking is another thing I love to do. Just walking, even if I can't walk outside because the weather's bad, I will walk inside. I get some of my best ideas walking. A lot of times I am praying on my walk, but while I'm praying, I may come up with a business idea and feel like that's what God has shown me. And so walking is a great way to get away and to not really have a focus. Sometimes it's great to just go for a slow, I go for fast walks pretty much every weekday, but it's nice to go for a slow walk. Take it easy, meditate, and just let the thoughts flow. Again, I believe that's God bringing those thoughts to me, but you can get some really great ideas just from going on a nice slow walk. My question to you is what is maybe one of these ideas that Jenna Kutcher has mentioned and that I've shown you what I actually do that you will do? Leave it in the comments wherever you're listening to this. What hobbies would you actually pursue in 2026? Leave a comment and let me know. So, what is a practical way? How can you really put this into practice? We've talked about the benefits. I would say choose 1 day a week, or maybe if you don't think you can do it, do a half a day and start with a half a day. 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours is better than zero or better than working 12 hours a day. So we're going to just choose a day. For me, a lot of times it is Sunday. I know for Hunter, sometimes it's not Sunday. When he was on the world race, which was an 11-month trip, 11 countries, it was a mission trip that he went on. They had to take a rest every week, and it was not their church day. It was another day that they just slowed down and rested and meditated and had reflection, spent some time with God, and did whatever. So how can we remove those temptations? You need to log out of your email, number one, and maybe social media. You need to silence all notifications on all your devices. And even more important, I think you can put your laptop in another room if you need to. I usually just close it up and set it somewhere because if it's not open, I'm not going to get any kind of notifications. But I believe you need to put your phone and tablets in a box in another room somewhere. I know when I go upstairs to work, my phone is sitting down here at the table, so it's not a distraction while I work. Well, if I want to have not have distractions during my rest day, then I probably need to put my phone away somewhere else so it will not. Now, I will say this, that is also a day that I reconnect with my family that doesn't live here. So I may make some phone calls, but I am not scrolling and scrolling and scrolling when I take a break like that. It will truly refresh you if you can do that. Replace that work time again with life-giving activities, maybe cooking together with your family or some friends, going for a walk, playing board games. My kids and grandkids love board games. And so and it is such a great time to laugh and laugh and laugh. My daughter Ashley, I was there for Christmas, they had bought these 60% off craft painting kits when I got there at Michael's. And so they will spend some time, the girls and Ashley will sit there and do that. I will say this, they find video games relaxing as a family, but they don't play for 8 hours. They may set aside 30 minutes and play a game and then go outside and go for a walk. Reading. I love to read for pleasure. I also love to host friends for meals. When we were in Idaho, we hosted people almost every Sunday for lunch. And you may go, cooking? That is work. I do not want to do that. Well, I love to cook. It energizes me. If you don't, then buy takeout and bring it home, and then everyone can just sit and enjoy whatever families come over. If you're going to do this with work and take a rest day, you need to set expectations and tell your subscribers, tell your audience ahead of time. I don't know that I've ever really done that, but I think people have learned that even on the weekdays, I don't respond to social media like this. So they know that it's usually going to take me 24 hours. But if you've been there and you answer everything within 5 minutes every day of the year, every day of the year, the week, the month, you do need to set expectations and just tell them, take a moment, make a video, tell them the story. I need a break. You know, this is not my entire life. So we take a break and we're going to take it on whatever day that is. So start small. Even 4 hours is going to count. But if you start with 4 hours, I would add an hour every month. So you've got 4 hours, you're getting used to it, and another hour the next month, whatever day that is, until you can go for 24 hours with no work. It is exhilarating. It is so encouraging. But some of you are going, I still don't know if I'm going to get it done. Well, let's speak honestly about trust, the fact of what studies have actually told us. Resting may feel risky because you're thinking, my income depends on it. I've got to be on there every single day. No, you don't. I believe that trust in the provision doesn't stop because you rested. I personally, y'all know I'm a person of faith. I put my trust in God that He's going to bring the income that I need because the business is to pay bills. The business is to provide for our families. And so we need to trust in that. You see, I think we need to reframe our mind. We're going to talk more about that in the next 2 weeks. But the lie is we're losing money if we don't work. That is a lie and that is a deception. You need to get that out of here and you need to change it and say, I am not losing money. I am protecting my capacity to provide for my family. I am protecting my capacity to work and build this business. It is a boundary. It is a protection for you. Again, it's a biblical principle. I believe rest is an act of trust. It is not laziness. Although there are times I'll just sit on the couch and watch a movie if I want to on a Sunday afternoon. That's not being lazy. That is giving my brain a break. So let's talk about rested brains make better decisions. Rested hearts show up better for your family and also for the audience that you are serving in your business. So pick one day a week, protect it. And I think January is a great time to start. That's when we're publishing this. But if you're listening on a different month later in the year, start that time. Start whenever that is. Your business can and will grow. You don't have to sacrifice your family or your health to do it. Take a break and rest. Well, I appreciate your time today. I will say, if you got one thing out of this, I would love for you to share this with a friend. We are trying to get this message out more and more. I love sharing marketing strategies, but I think mindset and taking care of ourselves is just important to be able to build and grow a business that will take care of us, that will provide for us and pay those bills as well. So, and if people like Jenna Kutcher, who's making millions of dollars, and back in the day, Henry Ford he could just say, "We are all resting one day a week," and his business grew, then I think you and I can do that as well. Hey, thanks for spending time with me. I'm Carrie Beck with Family eBiz. We'll talk to you next time.